every single one of the ideas that I ever had, like podcast, blogging, starting a business, speaking, it all started in my journal.
Welcome to Fry Your Chickens, the podcast about facing fears, negativities, and self-doubts that can hold us back. Or as I like to call them, chickens. Get ready because it's time to tell those chickens that are holding you back to shut the cluck up. We will learn how real people did exactly that. I'm your host, Phil Barth. Let's get ready to fry. My guest today is Claire Edwards. Claire is a morning routine coach. We first met in March of last year. I heard her talking about morning routines and I said, I've got to hear more about this. I have a morning routine, but Claire is like a ninja, black belt, morning routine person. Over 2,000 days of this streak, and we'll talk more about that later. But Claire, welcome to the Fry Your Chickens podcast.
Thank you for having me, Phil. This is awesome. I am honored to be here.
Fantastic. All right, well, let's talk first. On LinkedIn, you talked about you felt like you had it all, but still felt lost at age 23. Tell me about that. What happened next?
Yeah. So I got into this whole morning routine thing because I get asked about that a lot. They're like, how'd you get into this? And I was the person that, you're taught like, get the job, get the job, get the job. And then you've made it. You've made it in the world once you've graduated college and gotten your job. And I did that and I loved the job that I got. But about 3 months in, I kind of would get to my desk every day and I'd noticed that I think there is more than this. I think there is more than the 9 to 5 job. I wanted to be a healthy person, an interesting person, a well-rounded person, and, doing cool things and hobbies and healthy habits and all that different type of stuff. But the problem was, I was like, when the heck am I going to have time to do this? When am I going to do this? I'm always so tired after the work day. When am I going to ever make time to do these things that I want to do? And so I was like, what if I started doing those things as part of my morning routine? What if I started waking up just a little bit earlier to do these things that I wanted to do before going to the rest of the workday? So I did just that. I first pursued doing journaling, which was so important to my journey. First was journaling. Then I started a podcast. Then I started a blog. Then I, evolved into speaking and coaching and a business and all of that. And the morning became just this really significant time for me to make time for the things that I wanted to do, prioritize them, and just I don't know how else I would end up getting to do all of these really cool things if I didn't prioritize it in the morning. So based on my learning from my personal experience, I got asked a lot about my morning. And so I got so many questions that I started helping other people do it. So speaking about it to companies and doing one-on-one coaching and posting on LinkedIn. That's where I put most of my stuff. So got a lot of questions about it. So figured I would help out as many people as I could.
Excellent. So let's dive right in. I know you said journaling. Is journaling part of your morning routine?
Yes. Journaling is one of the first things I do in the morning.
Okay. About how many pages, or just a page or a paragraph, or how much?
Yeah, that's a good question. A lot of people ask that. For me, it kind of started out with there's those like little journal prompt cards that you can get as like a gift or something. And I started out with just pulling a card and answering a question each morning just to like kind of get it moving. And then I kind of moved away from that and did like a freehand and all of that. And now I'm probably to the point where I do about 2 to 3 pages a day is where I'm at freehand. But I mean, It can be short, it can be long, anything that just allows you to put it on the page, I find is really, really helpful.
I really like that. I was listening to an episode of Mel Robbins' podcast. I can't remember the name of the gentleman. He's from the University of Michigan, and he talked about ways to improve your mental health. And he said
Mhm.
the one thing that consistently across all the studies has a positive impact no matter what is journaling. And I
Mhm.
can't remember his name, but I will put a link in the podcast to the Mel Robbins episode. Mel, you're welcome for the huge bump you're going to get in your podcast viewership from this. So,
Mhm.
you owe me. Come on my show at some point. We'll talk.
But yeah, no, journaling is a huge piece. And like every single one of the ideas that I ever had, like the podcast, blogging, starting a business, speaking, it all started in my journal. Like that's where it started. That's where the first ideas came. That's where ideas expanded. And so someone told me the other day a really good way to phrase it of when they come out of their journaling session, they feel more clarity than when they sat down. And so I was like, that is a great way to describe it.
That's that's
Mm-hmm.
great. I am what you would call an occasional journaler. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I actually have a little one on the nightstand next to my bed because frequently I'll roll over. Oh, there's an idea I want to pursue, and
Mm-hmm.
I've got two choices at 4 in the morning: either write it down and get back to sleep,
Mm-hmm.
or risk forgetting it. There's a third choice, or sit there till 5 in the morning before I get up and find paper to write it down. So I love the way that the journaling can provide inspiration. I
Mm-hmm.
do that also with Chat GPT when I'm walking. Is it
Mm.
just journaling all of a sudden it's like, oh, so I guess if you count Chat GPT, although I'm gonna say right now, I have huge respect for you doing it writing. I
Mm.
write notes all the time, and I think that's. Have you found that makes a difference as opposed to just recording it or something?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think the writing part is very it's like very ritualistic to me and very therapeutic. And I know a lot of people don't like it because they're like, my mind works faster than my hand. And I totally relate to that. But I feel like there's something about like the slowing down and like really thinking about the thoughts is where the writing it comes in. But I know a lot of people who will type it out, they'll record it, all of that. And I think anything that you can do to have that moment to almost like expand on your thoughts and expand on your ideas, whatever mode that is for you, I think it can make such a huge impact on both your mental health and your ideas getting, you know, further developed.
I really like that. As I said, I'm a big fan. You and I have probably talked about my addiction to four color pens and how I take all my notes in four colors.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm a big fan of the writing it down. I also say, hey, if it works for you to dictate it or type it or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
it's just like exercise, right? What's the best exercise? The one you will do. So,
Mm-hmm.
uh, uh,
Exactly.
although I still say you've got the right answer, or you and I have the right answer. That's
Mm-hmm.
just that.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
so journaling, big piece of your morning routine. What else do you
Mm-hmm.
have in your morning routine?
Ooh, so uh it has definitely journaling was the first thing and then it expanded to a lot of other things. And I always, before I get into that, I always preface to say it is not the goal to have a super long morning routine. That is not necessarily the goal. The goal is to have a purposeful morning routine and an intentional one. So before it, I preface, yes, mine is very long, but there's a reason for it. So I'll preface with that. But other parts of my morning routine, first thing I do is get up and take care of my dog Maisy because she will not let me do anything else until she has gone outside. She's eaten, she's like snuggled a little bit. Like that is the first thing that has to happen. And I know we'll talk more about our Maisys later. But
Yes.
so dog is the first one. You know, make a smoothie, make some coffee, sit down and journal. And then right after I journal, that is when I work on whatever creative project I am working on. So, creative project, business, anything like that. That is what I do right after I journal. I find if I am the most creative in the morning and have like the most thoughts flowing. And so if I don't do it in the morning, it probably won't happen. And so that's why I get up and I do that. So the kind of in terms of time through my morning, it's about the first hour I call like is Maisy and me. So Maisy and journaling is the first hour. The second hour is working on my creative projects or my business. And then the next like 45 minutes or so is getting ready to go to my 9 to 5 job. So that's kind of the segments of how the day goes. And it takes me about, it's probably about a 3 hour routine.
So what time are you up in the morning?
I again, it's evolved, but now I'm probably at a regular 5:30. Probably at a regular 5:30 just to be able to get all of those things in.
Right.
And I wonder if you resonate with this, Phil, but as my creative projects or business goals got bigger, I started
Hmm.
waking up a little bit earlier because I had a reason to be waking up earlier. Um, as progress and all of that, it's like, oh shoot, I need more time to do these
Yeah,
things. So,
100%.
mhm.
Absolutely. Now, not 5:30 early, but the general rule is I'm normally 6:30 to 7.
Okay.
As we've mentioned in a prior conversations, we have a puppy, Darcy.
Mhm.
Darcy gets up anywhere between, let's say, 5:15 and 6:30. So if she gets up before 6:15, I take her out, she does her business, and then I put her in the crate in the kitchen and go back to bed. So my morning routine starts very dependent on when Darcy's morning routine starts.
Mhm. Yes, yes. I totally relate to that. And do you feel like she is on a certain routine now, or like she is definitely that 5:30 to 6:15, or does she shift?
Shifts based on how much running she got in the day before.
Ah,
So
okay.
it's we take her out every evening,
Hmm.
and that way, otherwise she'll get you up at 4. It's like, hey, you forgot to take me
Right.
out last night before bed, right? But if you
Yeah.
do that, then it's very likely that and she's had a lot of running and playing and
Hmm.
whatnot the day before. Uh, Obedience class day, she always sleeps in the next day because
Hmm.
it's work, it's extra food. She takes a
Hmm.
good nap that day and then sleeps
Yes.
in the next day, which is good because that's Sunday. And
Yes.
so, all right. So, which reminds me of a question: 7 days a week on the morning routine
Ooh, that is a good
for
question.
you?
I'm more of a 5 days a week morning routine.
Mhm.
Saturday and Sunday, I try to keep pretty flexible. But I also would say you can have more than one morning routine. I think that's like an epiphany for some people, but a perfect example of it is there's a lot of people who have some days they go to the office for work and some days they work from home. And so you can adjust your routine based on that schedule. So I kind of have like work from home routine. I go to the office routine. I have like a more chill weekend routine. It can still be a routine and still flex, but I stick to a kind of that 3 hour one Monday to Friday.
Okay, excellent.
Do you do
So, what do
yours
you?
every day?
Yeah,
Yes.
uh, I try. Let's put it that way. I mean,
Okay.
there are times when during travel, I may or may
Mm-hmm.
not, or if I just, get up and go to the airport, right? I'm not gonna do the morning routine and miss my flight. Those kind of things. But as much as possible, I do. Now, there is the question of, do I do all of it? We've talked about my morning routine,
Hmm.
A, B, C, D,
Hmm.
affirmations, book, some sort of uplifting book, coffee, dogs, uh, and journaling gets worked in there. But it might just be I have time to snuggle the dogs and have a cup of coffee, and maybe just read check a couple of affirmations off after I get to where I'm going, that sort of
Hmm.
thing. But as much as possible, I do uh, well, look, I'm retired from the day job, so I might as well do it 7 days a week.
Every day is a free day for you, Phil.
Any day can be a work day,
Hmm.
or on vacation, take the day off, or the week.
Sounds like the good life.
I have no complaints. And if I did, nobody's going to listen to me. Oh, poor me, I'm retired. Yeah, wow. All right. So here's a question you probably keep hearing. How do you have time to do all this?
Mm. How do I have time to do all of those things?
The morning routine, the job, and
Uh-huh.
everything else you're doing.
Yeah, that's a really good question. And some weeks it feels like I don't, right? And other weeks it does. Um, it's a loaded answer, but I'll try to keep it brief. And I think it really comes down to setting what your priorities are. So, what are the priorities for you in your life? In kind of a visual way, I talk about that is if you think of your life like a pie, and what are the pieces to your pie? I call this exercise the life pie. So, what are the pieces that make up the pie of your life? So, family, friends, your job, your side business, your health, any of those things. What make that up? And then taking that life pie and figuring out where those things fit on your schedule. So, kind of puzzling it out. Where do those things, based on my priorities, how does that fit on my schedule? And that is a really powerful exercise that helps you figure out, what are your actual priorities? And do I have too many priorities? Right? Because if everything's a priority, nothing is a priority. And getting it kind of dwindled down to like, what is actually important to me in terms of what do I want to make time for? What do I want to spend energy on? And so I've kind of done that exercise with myself and with people I've coached of doing that life pie. What are the pieces? And then how does that fit into a weekly schedule, right? We can't do everything every single day, but how does it fit into the week? Um, and I know for me, that's been a really powerful exercise to get clear on what do I have time for? What do I have time for? What do I want to make time for? What things do I say yes and no to based on the priorities that I have? I say a lot. I say no to a lot more things because maybe they're not on my list, but or in my pie. But I get to say yes to the things that I really, really, really want to do, and it makes space for them. So I think like doing that exercise kind of helped me get really clear on what to say yes and no to and what to make space for um, is kind of what I would say. And my little asterisk to that too would be also thinking about in terms of all of that time, like how you're using your phone as well, how you're using your phone, like how much time is that taking? So we can get more into that, but like that's something to even kind of consider in terms of how you're making everything work is your relationship with your phone.
That's so true.
Mm-hmm.
I, that's another reason why I like writing down notes on paper, because I have yet to open a piece of paper and start writing a note and have a notification pop up on the paper that distracts me.
Mm,
The phone, the number of times, and I use my phone, and it's a very important tool. But the number of times I go to do something, and oh wait a minute, and I'm 3 levels deep, going, that wasn't what you picked up your phone to do, Phil.
mm-hmm.
So The relationship with a phone is absolutely critical. You
Mm-hmm.
should use your phone for listening to the Fry Your Chickens podcast and a few other things.
And that's it. And that is
That's
it.
it.
But it's crazy. Like if you do like the priorities with your life pie, then get it into your schedule and like get clear on like what that is. Um, the relationship with your phone becomes a little bit more clear, and you're like, do I even have time to be like, doing the things that maybe like I was just distracted by all of that. So
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. All right, next question. How long have you been doing this? How many days?
oh gosh, I've been doing morning routines for 6 years now. So what is that in terms of the
Over
calculation? Over
2,000 days. Right.
2000. Yeah, over 2000 now. So yeah, it's been a while, and it's evolved a lot, right? Like it's started very small and then it evolved, but I think I'm definitely going to keep going with it as much as I possibly can because I've seen such a impact. But yeah, it's really grown and it's evolved, and I expect it to evolve even more over time.
It's really, really cool. Over 2,000 days and counting.
Mhm.
What happens when you miss a day?
That's a good question. I think I've only I think I've only missed twice in those 2000 days, and it was because, and when I say like, like what is the measure of that? I've journaled every single one of those days. I think I only missed twice, and it was because I was traveling internationally and I never went to sleep. So I never woke up. And so that was yeah, but that was
That'll
the
do it.
time. But in terms of, I almost feel like it's really easy to miss when you are traveling, right? Like it's
Mhm.
super super easy to miss. But I almost find that when I am traveling, that's actually a more important time to be checking in to be journaling, because like you're already eating different things. You're not really on your workout schedule. You're not really on your sleep schedule. You're probably socializing a lot. So you're kind of already out of whack. And so coming back to the journal in the morning, even for like 30 seconds to a minute, I find for me gets me really centered and reset to take on the next day. So I really try not to miss. But there are days that you do, and like nothing's gonna happen, right? Like it's gonna be okay if I miss. But I really try to be like, you're gonna show up as a better version of yourself today if you just take 2 seconds and write down three things you're grateful for and then move on. So
That's so cool. I love the three things you're grateful for.
mhm.
Frequently, dogs and coffee show up on that list, but three things you're grateful for is incredible. Yeah, and you absolutely described what happens when I travel internationally, with or without
Mhm.
the family. It's like um, you're talking about different diet, exercise slips. Da, 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 da. I was like,
Yep.
dang, you're describing my last trip internationally and the one before that.
Yes,
I
yes,
love it.
it's
Don't get me wrong, but exactly what you said, and I like the yeah. Just you could do that. Open up your journal, and I
mhm,
could do this. You do this. I could do
mhm,
this. Open up the journal while you're on the flight and the sun's starting to come up. Here's three
100%
things I'm grateful for. Boom.
done. Yeah, yeah. I call that having that like constant, I call that your anchor activity. So journaling is my anchor activity that I do every day, and it could be something different for other people, but I find that really valuable in terms of a piece of consistency.
That's really good. It seems like you found journaling right away and made it the anchor. Uh, Have other pieces around the journaling come and gone in that time frame, or pretty much when you find something, you're like, yeah, I want to keep doing this.
Mhm. Yeah, I would say I've tried doing yoga in the morning. I did
Hmm.
that for a little bit after I journaled. And that was, I did that when I was in the middle of my, a couple years ago, I did my yoga teacher certification. So I got that. And so I was doing a couple mornings of getting up and doing yoga practice because you wanted to get so many hours in. And I did that for a while and it was good. But I prefer to use that morning space as my creative, like writing and developing things time. And based on how my body operates, I would rather be doing yoga when I get off work. I've been sitting at my desk for 9 hours now. It's time to move my body. So I find that the yoga is better suited for the evening. But I did try it in the morning, and that was something that kind of came and went. I'm trying to think of like what else I've tried. Reading like a self-help book or something. I found I can't necessarily get in all of the things every single morning. So that one's kind of
Right.
came and gone. You got to be realistic about that. I've tried doing um, journaling before letting Maisy out, my dog, and that didn't work out either. That was not going to. That was unrealistic of me. New dog owner, I had no idea what I was doing. I'm trying to think of if there was anything else that's come and gone. I would say like that's like the movement thing. I've always been like, oh, maybe I should just be a morning workout person, and I'm just not. And that's okay.
Yeah.
You can, you gotta, I say like develop your morning routine based on how your mind and body operate. And so I have it developed based on how I operate.
Yeah. Now, this goes back a long time ago when I was running cross country in high school. I decided that if I got up and ran first thing in the morning during the summer, it'd be a lot better. And I learned that I don't like throwing up first thing in the morning. So, because it was just like, no, my body's like, no, you will go, you will work, you will do whatever, and you will run in the evening. So,
Mm,
it's whatever works. That
yeah.
was probably too much information. But let me ask you this about yoga.
Okay.
Do you do it with your Maisy or around? And does she want to participate?
She absolutely wants to participate. I'll do it at home sometimes when I just need to do like a quick 10-minute one. And she has to be like touching me at all times. So if I'm on the ground
Mhm.
at all, she's right next to me. Sometimes I just got to go to the studio. I got to go to the
Yeah,
yoga studio because, um, puppy yoga at home is fun, but can only get so far uh,
right.
before she is just laying on top of me. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Uh, our Maisie, well, all three of them to a certain extent, but Maisie, when I pull out the yoga mat, she's like, "Yes, it's time to do yoga." It's just like, no, it's time for me to do yoga. But then again, it's not the world's worst thing to be doing yoga and having a dog that you can pet too.
I
I
mean,
mean,
people
right?
like
They do puppy yoga.
puppy yoga. People pay to do puppy yoga. And I'm like, I got a 70-pound puppy yoga going on in my living room. So I'll
Yeah, do it for free.
yeah.
I've heard goat yoga too, and there was some other kind of yoga. I was like, I don't know that I want to do yoga with goats. No, I do know. I don't want to do yoga with goats. If people like that, you do you.
Should
All
we do
right.
yoga with chickens?
Oh yeah. Let's see. Yeah, the downward facing dog.
Right, right.
If you're listening to it, that's my pirate chicken that just made that awful noise. You did hear the noise, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I
All right.
did.
I took the Zoom filter off because I wanted all chickens all the time on the Fry Your Chickens podcast.
Yes.
Now, speaking of dogs, we have a new feature. You're just going to be the second guest to ever experience this wonderful feature. It is our new puppy, Darcy, would like to ask you a question. So I need to bring Darcy up. There she is. I'm going to share the screen so you can see her and hear her question. Here's Darcy. Can you see her? Yep, there she
Yeah.
is. All right, ready? Here we go. I'll turn her volume up a little bit so she's kind of shy. All right, here's Darcy. She's got her Christmas wear on, by the way. Here we go.
Hi, Claire. You have a dog named Maisy. So do we. I like chewing on our Maisy dog's ears. Are your Maisy dog's ears delicious too?
Oh yeah.
Hi, Claire.
Oh, okay, Darcy, you're done now. We're gonna stop sharing.
She loves cheering on Maisie. That's so funny. I feel like my Maisie and your Darcy would definitely get along. Definitely.
Probably. My Maisie and my Darcy get along to a point, and then it's just
Mm.
like, enough with you, little dog. Go away. This morning, today at some point, Maisie came in and ran and jumped on our bed because she knows Darcy can't, at least at this point, jump up that high. So it's like,
Mm.
relief.
That's so cute.
So, and I have to talk with the Darcy didn't do the closed captioning, but the closed captioner did not spell Maisy correctly. You might have caught that, but Maisy for both of us.
I know. I'm almost like, because whenever you do like speak to text, it does it the way it was spelled on the screen there, the Maisy. And I was like, oh, maybe I should have just spelled it that way so I don't have to correct the text to speak every single time.
Yeah, that's good, but on the captioning, if I spell it out Maisy,
Hmm.
I'm going to say Maisy.
Oh, she won't actually say it. Okay.
Okay. This is weird because I actually put the script into the AI tool and it did the captioning. I don't misspell Maisie's name.
Hmm.
I don't know what
Yeah.
happened. I don't
Huh.
know. It's been a fun learning exercise. I put the videos out on YouTube every day of Darcy's daily dad jokes, and I got a comment a couple days ago, AI. I'm like, did you really think there was such a thing as a talking lab that I had trained?
I've been loving
I
your
didn't have to say anything. The next comment was, no kidding. Somebody else.
I've been loving your AI dog talking. I think it's great. It makes me stop every time and I listen to it.
She's it's a lot of fun. You know who else stops and listens to it? Darcy. She hears that voice. She's like, "Oh, there's something fun over there," and she sings. And this is why I'm busier than before because I'm making talking dog videos.
Right.
One
Right.
last note. One last note. I have two. I was on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. That's my number one most viewed video. I had some flaming squirrel bird seed to see what happened to birds when I see what happened to squirrels when I did that. That's my number two most viewed video. I've given all kinds of speeches. My third through 10th most viewed videos, Darcy, right all the way down.
I mean, you're
Hey,
on to
I've got a great
something.
fry. I am. Hey, I've got a fry your chickens video. Hey, we don't want that. I've got a talking and singing dog. I'm in. So
Maybe you
you
use
know
that
what?
to
This
your
is how
advantage.
innovation. This is how innovation happens. Darcy
Mhm.
could tell people, "Here's your chicken frying tip of the day."
Mm,
If this
yes.
becomes big, you will note that it happened right here on the Fry Your Chickens podcast with Claire Edwards.
It happened right here. It happened right here.
Right here, right
Who
now. This is
knows?
how innovation happens.
Oh my. Has anyone else like said that they would hire you or ask you to create an AI dog video for their dog?
I have not offered to do it. If you want a talking video, I will, since you've been a guest on the podcast. I am actually sitting down with a friend of mine on Thursday. She's going,
Mm.
nice little thumb gesture there. All right. So yeah, it's because it's my MacBook. It's a MacBook thing. All right. Okay. So anyway, my next podcast interview is on Thursday,
Yeah.
and it's a lady who runs events, and she's got a not a Saint Bernard, a Cocker Spaniel named Teddy. And I said, hey, when we do that, we can also do a Christmas song video with Teddy. So
Aw.
it'll be out there. So yeah, if you want a talking Maisy video, just let me know. We can talk
I will
offline.
definitely be hitting you up for that. Yes.
All right, excellent. Excellent. All right. Now we're going to chat GPT
Okay.
because we have the standard question from the podcast, as well as 3 random questions,
That you haven't seen
and
either.
inevitably that I have not seen either. Yes. Okay. And the first question we ask before we do the 3 random questions
Mm-hmm.
is the standard one. Which would
Mm-hmm.
you rather fight? One bear-sized chicken or 100 chicken-sized bears? Now we've changed it from horses because horses are herbivores and bears are not. So we wanted to kind of level the playing field. Which would you rather fight? A bear-sized chicken or 100 chicken-sized bears, and why?
Oh, I thought it was gonna be horses, so I prepared my answer for
Okay,
horses.
okay.
But no,
You know
I'm
what?
just kidding. I'm
Hey,
just
no,
kidding.
no.
I'm totally just kidding. I'm totally just kidding. Bears.
The guest
Okay.
is always right. The guest is always right. If you want to do 110 horses,
Mm-hmm.
that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. So
We'll go
you're
with
on.
the Bears. So I thought about this. I would definitely do the what is it? One bear-sized chicken versus the
Hmm.
100 because I wouldn't want my attention to be scattered in 100 different directions, just focused on this one chicken, this one bear-sized chicken. Because if you're fighting them, then if you hit them one place, they're probably going to feel it in another place and another place. And so you're weaning them down. So I would go with the answer of one bear-sized chicken.
Was that also going to be your answer for the horses?
Yes, it was. Same answer.
Okay. All right. Same answer. Okay. Fantastic. I had somebody say, well, look, horses are herbivores. I could eventually wear down 100 herbivores because they wouldn't want to eat me.
Mm,
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
okay.
Horses can kick. Even if they're chickens, I think. And I get the picture when I'm talking about chicken-sized horses of those little, not pterodactyls. Yeah, those little things at Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
They were evil. So I'm with you. I think I go with the one big one, especially if I'm given a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And because if you win, the barbecue is going to be incredible. Or my preference, the fried chicken.
Fried chicken.
All righty, now here we go. At this point, ChatGPT, aka Maple, the name I have for the voice, will be asking us 3 questions.
Okay.
Hello, Maple. Are you ready to ask the first question? You know, I could say that.
Absolutely.
Oh, here we go. Shoot. Okay, go.
All right, got it. No worries. I'm here and ready whenever you are. Just let me know when to jump in.
Go.
Absolutely, let's do it. So, first question coming your way. If you had to pick one of your favorite fry the chicken moments from the past year to share on the podcast, which one would it be and why?
You're asking Claire this?
Exactly, that's right. So that's a question you can ask Claire to get the ball rolling. It's a nice way to have her share a meaningful story from her own journey.
Did not see that coming. You can pass that one to me if you want.
Go for it, Phil.
Honestly, last week she was introducing herself as Phil Barth.
She's confused.
She really is. There have been so many fun moments on here. I had my roommate from college, and we played ChatGPT assisted Trivial Pursuit. That was a lot of fun. I think when I came up with the question of the the horse-sized chicken or the chicken-sized horses, it's just gotten such a reaction, and it really amazes me of the thought that people put into such a silly question, and we treat it as if it's a very important world-altering question, and so that's been a lot of fun. I've had 2 people so far, 3 if you count my son when I told him what the questions were, that asked, "Do I get a weapon?" Because that completely changes it. And I never said you don't, but I never said you do. And it's a theoretical question. So I'm going to say just the pure silliness. When I started to do this podcast. I wanted it to be silly and fun, and
Mm.
that question and the thought process has got to be it.
Mm. Is your favorite fry your chickens moment?
I think so. That's generic.
No, I don't
Okay.
think it's generic.
Well, I mean, it's generalization. If you're looking for one specific moment, there have been several where I said that quote and what we just said is never going to see the light of day.
We need the
I,
bloopers, Phil.
the blooper reel will be unbelievable, and it's when I retire the Fry Your Chickens podcast. I'm gonna have one giant blooper reel that is going to be amazing. It will probably half as many hits as a General Darcy video. That's how popular it's going to be.
Absolutely. That's exactly what's going to happen.
Well, early on, I was asking people what's your favorite joke, and I realized not everybody is qualified to answer that on a PG podcast.
A PG.
But dang, do I have some good material for Christmas. All right. All right, let's go on to question number 2. I'm really off the rails today. I apologize. Okay, that was fun. Please give us question number 2.
Absolutely. Let's keep the fun going. So, question number 2 might be something like, if you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice from everything you've learned on this journey, what would you tell her?
Hmm. What piece of advice would I give my younger self? Oof. That's a tough one. Oof. I think I think my answer would be, it might sound like too generic, but probably go with your gut, because your gut is probably it's right. Your gut is right. Go with your gut. Whether it comes to like pursuing an idea, a relationship, like staying in a relationship, leaving a relationship, doing an idea, taking a job, leaving a job. I would say like going with your gut would be like the number one thing I would say, and trust it because it's probably right. Because it's easy to second guess or like take other people's opinions of what you're doing. But your gut is probably ultimately the thing that is right. And go with that is what I would tell my younger self.
I think that's great. That's great advice. I mean, that's going with your gut fries these guys, fries these chickens,
Mm,
right? Because
yeah.
that's where the second guessing comes in. Is those chickens are saying, "Oh, that might not be safe. Oh, if you go for that new job, that might not be safe." I mean, all the way up until I retired. Oh, are you sure you want to do this? And I probably should have fried them 5 years ago, 5 years before I did and retired and did this. So it's a wonderful way. Go with your gut. I like it. I I didn't get this question, but I think I would have said something similar. All
Okay.
right. Question number 3. Well, something similar, or else buy stock in Apple Computer when you graduate college. Okay, and don't sell it. Okay, question number 3, please.
You got it. For the third question, let's go with this. If there was one surprising or quirky hobby or interest that you think people would never guess about you, what would it
Mm,
be? Just a little something to keep it fun.
that's a good one. Quirky hobby or interest that people would be surprised about.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a tough one. Cause I feel like I'm very like transparent about all the hobbies. Like people would be like, "Oh, like morning routines is like the thing," but that's everybody knows that. Um, quirky, like a quirky hobby. That's weird. It kind of reminds me of the question of like what do you know, what is a topic you know more about than the average person? That's kind of what it reminds me of. Um, but I'll try to stick to the question. A quirky hobby or interest.
You
Um,
you can do whatever you can ask whatever you want to do with this question because
I
I
would
I would have the same problem as you. I'm pretty
right. I'm
well
like,
an open book.
Right? Yeah. I'm like, I've shared things.
Wait, Phil
Quirky.
likes rubber chickens? No way.
Quirky hobby or interest. I would say like different things that I tried like as a kid growing up might surprise people. Like in middle school, I played the alto saxophone. So that was something different that I did. Um that was like probably like the quirkiest thing that I did. Other interests. Um I'm really into when I was a kid too, I would love my favorite activity. This was before the time of like iPads and everything, was cutting out magazines and cutting out the words in magazines, like the titles and the headlines, and then very like empowering words, and then putting them on a piece of paper and like gluing them together to make some type of collage or like, kind of the first things of like a vision board, right? Like kind of like that. But I would spend a lot of my time as a kid cutting out these magazines and putting together like a collage or a vision board. Like that was something I love to do.
Okay, that's the winner right there. I
Okay.
mean, especially because after you said cutting words out from magazine, I thought, oh my God, we're not gonna have ransom notes here, are we?
But yeah, no. What
All
would be
right,
yours,
no,
Phil?
no,
Yeah.
that's really cool. It's like, darn it.
Now I put you on the
I
spot.
played drums when I was younger.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, you did. Drums. That, uh, what do I know more than anybody else? Obscure baseball statistics. But again,
Mm,
look behind me and tell me that you're surprised that I know things about baseball. Okay, so that's not. Okay,
mhm.
I need to think here for a minute. Something obscure about me.
Or like something more than the average person. I feel like our like siblings and our friends would be able to pick out these things more than we would ourselves. Um,
Mm.
but
Yeah,
yeah, like yeah, what do you
yeah,
know
because I
more than the
once
average
asked my
person?
trivia,
Like
uh,
that's a good one. Or here,
obscure trivia.
let me frame
Go,
it this
go,
way.
please.
Let me frame it this way. So, say you were going to a garage sale and
Mm-hmm.
you were like you like found something and you were trying to decipher what it was worth, what it was actually worth,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's like
Uh-huh.
maybe a baseball card, maybe it's a video game, maybe it's something like that. Like, what is something that you would find at a garage sale that you would have a lot of knowledge about of whether it was like in good shape, but it was worth a lot or something of that sort?
You hit it with baseball cards.
Okay.
I have that's the one that popped right into my mind. I have a Mike
Mm-hmm.
Schmidt rookie card in the safe that
Mm-hmm.
is worth a lot of money. Well, I mean, for a darn baseball card, it's worth a lot of money anyway. It's in the
Mm-hmm.
hundreds, but that would be one. I would also say the old Nintendo. I'm dating myself. NES ones that you pushed in and you had to
Mm-hmm.
blow on them to get them to make the contacts. Mario Brothers and all that. I would know if one of the cartridges was valuable
Mm-hmm.
because I remember struggling to get a few of them when I was younger. That would be two. And then I guess that's the other obscure thing. I like going to garage sales.
Mm-hmm.
Garage sales, antiques, but mostly garage sales and rummage sales. I love going through that and finding, and I could probably grab something within arm's reach. I'm not seeing it right now. Well, yeah, well, yeah, it's right over. This was not. This was from an antique mall, the little Galileo thermometer. So,
Mm.
have you ever seen those before? Yeah, the where they float up and down. So it is currently 70 degrees in
Oh,
here.
that's cool.
It's basically whichever one floats up. Um,
That's really cool.
yeah, I frequently I'll be wearing something that I picked up at a garage sale just because I
Mm-hmm.
like doing it. I,
Yeah.
and our youngest son loves going with us to garage
Mm-hmm.
sales and antique malls, so it's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, I know the other one. Tom Clark gnomes. I'm a big collector of Tom Clark gnomes. So
Okay. Okay.
There's one who's out for the season right now.
That's cool. Can you
Yeah.
only find it at certain places?
I don't know. You can find them anywhere pretty much.
Mm,
Antique malls. They don't cost a lot. This was the other one. I got to put him away because it's not Scrabble season right now. But I
it's
haven't
not
put him away yet.
Scrabble season. When Scrabble season?
Oh no.
I
I
feel like
don't know. That's a,
Scrabble season's right now. I would think because it's winter and it's like, okay, what am I going to do at home? What am I going to do with the family?
yeah. Good question. Good point. Oh, and yeah, right back there, the old baseball glove and the Australian rules football antique mall finds. So, yeah. Again, though, it's a pretty open book. If you know me on Facebook, you're like, yeah, we've heard it all. Um, People would not be surprised to know that I don't keep, my life is an open book.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
turn it right on me. I'm gonna start telling ChatGPT, look, the following questions are. Actually, I enjoyed that discussion, so we'll just leave it at that.
It got us down a good rabbit hole.
It did. I love a good rabbit hole. All right, so what is one message you want our listeners to walk away with when
Ooh,
it comes to morning routines?
one message to walk away with. Um, okay. I'll say morning routines are not a destination. They're a tool. Morning routines are not a destination, they're a tool. So don't worry about what you think a morning routine should be about waking up early or making it perfect. It's a tool to get you closer to who you want to be and what your goals are. And so make it work for you and use that tool in the best way you can so that you can become the person that you want to be.
That's fantastic. Where can we find you online?
Yeah. So the two places I'm probably the most interactive is on LinkedIn. You can just search my name, Claire Edwards. I'm also on Substack, trying to get more into that. That's where I do my newsletter. I have like a community chat on there. So Substack's great. And then my website is heyitsclaireedwards.com. You can see everything I'm up to there. So always up for connecting. I do a I offer free calls, a first call free to everyone, because when I was starting out with having ideas and such, I wish I had someone to talk to about them. So any crazy or not crazy idea that you have of something that you would do or use your morning routine for, I hope to lend an ear. So reach out at any time if you just want someone to talk to about uh, maybe a crazy idea you have.
All of those will be in the show notes. Claire, this has been a lot of fun. I always enjoy the rabbit hole, off the rails type of episodes where we not only cover the ground we meant to cover, but have a lot of fun along the way. And that is exactly what we did here today. Thank you again for being on the Fry Your Chickens podcast, and just keep frying. Hey, it's Phil. Like today's show? Well, you'll clucking love my Fry Your Chickens newsletter on LinkedIn and Substack. Links are in the notes.